hitting go live,
I feel like
and it says we're going live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 402. And in general, I generally say that the camera is like making it eye blaring, but like this Shameless by Mitchell's Creations just really pops.
Yeah, it is that bright. Yeah.
It is like the camera is doing it justice, which is pretty awesome. So
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. No, it's been an interesting week here in Minnesota. We went from like I assume there are people that turned their air conditioning on last week, and then by the weekend we had snow over Sunday.
Yeah, it was 80 to 30. Like it was a 50-degree shift, and it was within a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So yeah, I call one of this is like third spring or what is this, right? It's hard to know where we are in the like fake summer, fake spring, like all of those intermediate steps. My husband has like a record store day is Saturday, I guess, and they always do a bike ride. And one of his friends is really freaking out about how cold it's going to be. And Jeremy's like, I can't believe it's almost going to snow. It's almost May. And I'm like, do you remember the May that we got 2 feet of snow? Like, can you stop complaining about it snowing in April? Like, but yeah, I think everybody's ready. Everybody's ready. The grass is starting to green up, right? So we're like, we're done with the snow. We're done with the snow.
Well, and to have I think it was 80-degree days in a row, it just felt so blissful.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to go straight into high 80s, but I was enjoying every minute of it while it was here.
Yeah.
I didn't get to like get out in it the whole time, don't get me wrong, but every time I walked from a building to my car, I took lots of walks outside.
Get our windows open, which was nice, right?
Yes,
Let some of that
air things out.
So yeah, that's been interesting. I am actually headed to Milwaukee this weekend to run the Brew City half marathon. I've decided that marathons are too much as far as preparatory and whatever. So I'm going to try doing half marathons. I'm going to see my my brother and his husband, and so that'll be fun. But yeah, it's supposed to be like rainy and cold enough on Saturday morning that it might be snow.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but you should do the dam to dam. I think that's a fun one in Des Moines.
Yeah. Is that one like a half marathon distance as well, or is that over?
I don't know. It could be 10K. I don't remember.
Okay, so that's 6 miles. Yeah.
I don't remember though, because there are other there's the dam to dam, and then they have subcategories, right? So you could run a 5K in the dam to dam, I believe.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. As a runner, I don't mind running in the snow. Like it actually is a lot better than running in the rain. Like you get drenched running in the rain. In the snow, it's kind of, there's a little bit of whimsy, right? Felt like downpour drenching you, right? So yeah, it should be interesting. I've never spent a significant amount of time in Milwaukee. So anybody that's watching this before Saturday, the 22nd, if you've got recommendations for yarn shops or places to go in Milwaukee, help a girl out.
Awesome. Yeah, I really feel like I need to travel. I don't know. I just haven't been anywhere. And
get out of Dodge. Dodge.
I do. I do need to get out of Dodge. Like just these short trips you're talking about. I should just go to like Stillwater or something. I don't know why, but the weekends haven't been quite like that. First really nice weekend, I enjoyed every moment of it at home, right? Sitting out on my deck and things like that. But then the second weekend, it was like snowing all day. So I think we just need to get some consistent, good driving weather, and I'll be on my way trying to do some stuff over the weekends. But
cool. Well, shout out to all of our craft alongs that are currently going on.
Yes.
Having some fun on the I don't know if you went out to Discord this morning. The VKN last night, I asked chatbot
Oh,
GPT to write a poem convincing crafters to come to ZK, and I've decided, like, throw everything else out. Like, the real purpose of chatbot GPT is to write really great poetry.
really
Also can write a
interesting.
haiku. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get a
Oh,
chance to read it, but I heard that we got this nice poem about.
it was like it was freaky to me, right? If I hadn't seen it like in less than 5 seconds come on the screen, right, I would have been convinced that it was like cribbed from somewhere else, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess primarily it could be, right? Like it could have stolen bits and bobs from other poetry,
Right.
but that was really, really fast. And it was pretty good. Other than, like, I think it assumed that when I said crafters, that there was like woodworking and paperwork, but sometimes we have classes about other crafts.
Yeah.
So
Have to
yeah,
refine it to the fiber crafts or something.
yeah. So somebody was like, well, you put ZK 2023, like what would it do if you put zombie in there? And
Right.
that really threw it off. It was like,
Yeah.
this is a retreat like no other. And the undead can craft. And I was like, that puts a whole new meaning on like your stash exceeding life expectancy, right? Like, oh, I'll knit that when I'm undead.
Hey, good, because I have more yarn coming to me.
Exactly. Oh, so yeah, no, there was a lot of dramatic poetry reading last night, which is not a sentence that I thought I would say about our knit night. But it was all, yeah, chatbot created poetry, which was really fun for whatever reason. Um, like, feel like all of these things that people get really excited about, like we just need to narrow them to the lane that they do really well. And apparently chatbot GPT writes really good poetry.
Funny.
So anyway, that was my week, in addition to struggling with a little bit of a cold. So I'm sorry if I
Yeah.
do anything that's grossing people
Well,
out. So
if you are coming or you've read our poetry and you've decided to come to the Knitpocalypse, I have sent out a email, and in the email, I've invited people to lead a discussion or a swap or teach somebody how to do something. I was thinking of doing a small macrame class. I got to find the right project that's simple enough and can still be taken home, that kind of thing. So as soon as I find just the right project, I'll be putting that together. And I've seen a few keychains. I think a keychain's a good project. So then, so there's that. And yeah, so get out there. I know that I have already seen like 9 classes or swaps or discussions. Yeah, I think bingo was coming back. We'll have to figure that one out. I know that our classrooms are quite a bit bigger this time around, so maybe it can be in its own space. And yeah, so I'm excited for that. And
you
that'll
posted a preview of the mugs, which
yes,
was very interesting. Kind of had like the had the group be like, oh, I've got a lot of anxiety about which one I'm going to pick and if my favorite color is going to be there when I get there. And I was like, that's the opposite. We wanted to get you excited about coming and picking up these mugs. So it was a little bit of a preview. But yeah,
yes.
now they've got 60 some odd days, right? 62 days to him and haw about which of the pretties they want to make sure to grab.
Yeah, I was looking, we have a weekly sign up sheet for cleaning our coffee room at work. And at the bottom of the sheet is Zombie Knitpocalypse time frame. And I'm like, the sheet isn't that long.
I know.
I had a little mini panic attack because of the 60 days and it's only so many weeks. And
yeah,
yeah,
Maryland Sheep and Wool being the next weekend, that is always when it goes in. After that is when it goes into high gear mentally in my mind, right?
Yeah. That's in May. May, what is it, early
Yeah,
May?
it's not this weekend, but
Oh,
next weekend. Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was closer to the end of May, but because it was
No.
used to be a Mother's Day thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, it's the 5th, I think, is the Friday
Okay.
that it starts. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe we need to plan and get up there and talk up the ZK handout flyers about our marketplace or something.
Yeah.
Um, all right, well, I have some FOs.
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay, so I finished my pressed flowers cardigan. I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about this yet because I said that I finished it on April or in April. So
Yes, yeah. I had the same thought, Amy, when I looked at my pile. I'm like, I feel like I've talked about these things, but I think we talked about them in whips and
yeah,
yeah, and favorite things possibly, but oh, so pretty.
yeah. So this is just, or not just, this is Malabrigo in their sport weight. I think it's ARR something base.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the
Arroyo,
sport weight. Hmm?
Arroyo. So
Okay, yeah. In that base, impression blue, I believe. And then this is my first 3 months of the fade from Suburban Stitcher.
It's so pretty. Did you make it the length, the body length that it's written for?
Yes. So it is a little shorter, but I have some high-waisted pants and some dresses that it will go over quite nicely. And again, I think that in my mind, it needs that a high-waisted pant or a skirt or a dress. And then, yeah.
Did you enjoy it? You enjoyed making it right through to the end.
Oh,
It wasn't like
absolutely. I could see myself knitting it again. I ordered a crazy colorway. Well, not crazy. It's Gratitude from another crafty girl. And it's a lot of deep colors and a lot of them. And I was wondering how that would look as the solid. And if I put a bright bluish color in the fade part.
Yeah.
So I'm already playing with it. Maybe that will be another sweater because there is the pullover now. That's really cute. So I might take a look at and see what yardage that takes, or just do the cowl because I enjoyed the pattern and the motif enough that I want it to allow some other yarns to shine, like it was just such fun color play that I would want to do another project with the same pattern just to get that color play again.
Yeah. I made 2 of them, right? So I totally get it. I made them simultaneously, which is very, yeah. But because I wanted to play with the colors, and I had some in my stash that I immediately knew that I wanted to cast on. I like the crew neck, but I am happy that I made the V neck, right, based off of the cardigan. So it's still unique. Other people could do it. Lynn made it at the same time as me. But yeah, the crew neck looks nice as well. I haven't looked if that is knit top down or not. That would also be nice.
Yeah, I also wanted to take a look at it because I know that the other, like the shawl, is a different weight. Like I don't know what weight they made the pullover. It could be a different weight yarn. But moving on, I did a test knit of a shawl that's going to be, this is a sample for Queen City out of their Coleman base.
Ooh, yeah.
And I believe that the pattern is going to be debuted at ZK. And it's, oh my gosh, I should Chit Chat Knits. Chit Chat. Yeah.
I like that spine.
Yeah.
That looks fun.
Darcy has made a really pretty shawl. And it took 2 skeins of Coleman. I had quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but enough left over that I could use it on a trim of something else. I did order some Coleman after playing with this, right? Like I was like, oh, I love this so much and I'm going to have to give it back, And since I wanted to keep one of my Colemans, I gave my sweater away at the retreat last year. because it didn't fit me in the shoulders very well. So it did fit somebody else and it looked lovely. So they got to take that home with them. And then this is going back to Janice. So I ordered myself some to make a nice spring top. I might make the geometric. That one looks really cute. We have some people twinning on that for the retreat. So yeah, anyway, that was a very fun knit. I kind of got to, once you get it started, it did feel fairly mindless, like I could keep up with it without having to look at it too much. I do need to block the edge, but I really do like the edging that she did. It's very cool. And I don't want to give away too much about how that edging is done.
Yeah.
But
very cool.
It was very fun to do.
Kind of roughly without being like over the top ruffle. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, when I block it, it's just going to kind of look like a picote, whatever, however you say that.
Go.
Yeah. Pico.
I think that's how you say it.
It
sounds like tea, right? But orange pico.
Depot. Depot. Pico.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, I finished this mussel burl with another crafty girl, and then a gray yarn that was pulled from stash that I'm not sure of the base, but yeah.
So pretty.
So that is done. I have 3 of this weight and size now. And I think I've made 5 mussel burls now. So 3 that like this, but then I made a worsted weight one, and I made a one that had mohair on the inside.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then, as part of our book venture, I have these socks that were kind of modified, one intentionally and one unintentionally. So this one, I had a brain fart and just started doing my own thing. Like, wasn't even on pattern. It was just vaguely on pattern, and then finished it out, and then went back and intentionally did it to look more like the original pattern, and then but also to look like a nice mismatched sock. And then I realized afterwards, I mean, this is a pair, but I might have to knit more mishmash socks to go with these, because I knit this one slightly bigger in the foot than this one. Like, I think I decreased 2 more stitches than I should have. But anyway,
still wearable.
Yeah, still wearable. And when my brain gets back to normal, I don't know when that will be, but I'll be able to make them so that they're the same size. I don't know, they might not be that far off, but every time I look at it, I can kind of see that there's just like maybe 2 stitches that didn't get decreased here, and they did get decreased here.
Yeah. I don't think you'd feel it on your foot, unless it's like super sloppy on one foot versus the other, right? But
yeah,
that's the make it work in me.
It's so slight. It shouldn't bother me. But no, this is oh goodness, Cato yarns. And this is actually Spartacus. It's a mini that I worked in there. So a very old stash. So it could be old stash. It could be modification. It could, there's so many things it could be for the book venture. But that project of mismatched socks are done.
Ding, ding.
And that's it.
Sounds like it was a journey.
It was a journey. Again, like when I got past this and I took a picture, because this is Kay Drucker's pattern. She's like, "Are you doing this way?" And I'm like, Oh gosh. Yes. Completely wrong. Sorry. I will correct it on the second sock. But that was back when Pivot was going to the hospital and all that stuff. So I had reasons for being a little bit scatterbrained.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And as we do as crafters, we just make it work, right? Like, oh, yep, that worked. Your brain filled in the gaps and they filled them in a little different than the pattern did.
Yeah, I grokked that sock. For sure.
But that's all right. I know that you have a relatively harder stop here at the halfway point of the hour. So I'll talk about my whips quickly. We were chit-chatty today. This is my metamorphic. I knit it out of, I believe the pattern asks you to knit it with sport and DK. And I did fingering throughout with the same size needles, got relatively same gauge. It works. So I mean, it's kind of modifying. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that I don't have that hard stop, so you can slow down.
I don't have to like. Okay. So yeah, the pink obviously is worked throughout, and then if I stand up, you can see I used 3 different colors of 716 when we had the trio in our goodie bag. So this one's like a white with a pop of pink, which you can sometimes see. And then it became like a pink, pink and purple, like, and the base is less white. It's more of a dyed colorway plus pink and purple. And then at the end, it's probably easiest on my sleeve, that blue. And it pooled, no matter what I did, it feels like the blue pooled, like it pooled here on this arm as well. But it's all part of the like handmade ness of it. And I really enjoy it. It does interesting things with your eyes, I guess, to have kind of that helix stripe, but then the lines on the down the arm and down the back and down the front and underarm. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the pattern. Definitely versatile. The fabric, I think I talked about it when we talked about whips, is a lot. And I don't know, again, if it's because I'm using that same size needle, but smaller yarn is it's very drapey. Like it's kind of a flowy fabric versus what I assumed was some of the slip stitches and the working in reverse stockinette. Well, it's worked with stockinette, but then you flip it inside out, which is kind of fun. As a tip or trick, if you are making this, make sure there was probably 2 times on the body where like I flipped it inside out and like I had missed a skip. I had skipped a slip, and that is very visible. I'm sure you could take a piece of spare yarn and like create it, right? And fairly easily, because you'd have the start and stop once you started it again. But yeah, check, right? Like it's very easy when you're knitting something inside out to miss something. And then once you flip it with the right side out, notice, oh, darn. So again, I was able to drop down and pick it back up and kind of like you do if you're fixing a mistake, 10 rows down or whatever. But after that, I became very like, once I got to that marker, I'm like, okay, like look down the line and make sure on the inside and make sure that you haven't lost continuity. Check.
No, I can totally see myself doing that for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, don't wait for a grand reveal at the end, flip it inside out, and all of a sudden you don't have the line of stitches. So yeah, really love that. And then I used the leftovers that I had from that and some of our, so this is the pink is from Mitchell's Creation. This Shameless colorway is the colorway that just keeps on giving, because I feel like I've used Shameless in something else as well. So I think I bought 3 skeins at DK at home. And yeah, I just keep on more and more projects. I've knit a sweater, I've knit something else, I know I have. And then this hat. This is at Haynes House that from our goodie bag last year. Yes. So like you can't necessarily see it, but there are some pops of of color in that blue section.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's definitely scratched my Musselboro itch of like, ooh, I'd like to be making those again. Got lots of scraps. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, that
bright
feels more
fun.
dramatic than mine.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the cool part of it, right? Is that you can make it very like, oh, I didn't even realize. I mean, to be honest, the striping is to keep me engaged. I mean,
Mhm.
it is striking and it is awesome in the hat to have it have two different distinct sides.
Mhm.
But the striping is so that I feel it's easy to count. It's easy to,
Yeah.
yeah, it keeps me going. I'm excited about it. So yeah, I see more of those in my future, especially with the 2-color challenge coming up
Yep.
for, for ZK. My old stash is this Care Bear with Fangs. I did 2 Partying It Up socks with an OMG heel versus the afterthought that's in the pattern. Just a really fun use of, I remember when I wrote this up, it was with 716 yarn, and she just does such a great job of these like stripes and then micro stripes within the other stripe. I can't remember the colorway that we used for the birthday kits. But yeah, it's just such a sturdy base too. Like I just feel
Mhm.
like these socks are going to last forever. And I do appreciate the juxtaposition of the arrows on the front, and then you can see what it would have been like in plain stockinette on the back. So I do enjoy a
Yeah.
good sock that does that. The yarn that I took with me to Paris was Falling in Love by Woolens and Nosh. And this was what was in my little sling bag fanny pack. I purposely didn't, I
Ooh.
staggered, because I wanted to have the most of this yarn left over as I possibly could. But B, I think it's just fun to have distinct socks, even if they're just staggered one
Mhm.
stripe. And then I chose to make them stockinette because Paris was going to be entertaining me, not the socks.
Mhm.
Spacious OMG heel. And yeah, this base, this Targi base, uh, I'm in love.
Yes, it is a nice one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of memories into these socks, which is also a very fun part of taking them on trips with you, right? And this yarn specifically has a backstory. I think I told it on the podcast, but I'll tell it again. I had picked up this skein multiple times at Rhinebeck at Woolen Folk. It is Earth Tones Girl colorway
Mhm.
collaboration with Michelle of Woolens and Nosh. And I picked it up and I put it back and I picked it up and I put it back. And ultimately I did it an odd number or an even number of times versus an odd. So I didn't go home with it. And then we were doing show and tell in our Rhinebeck house and everybody had it.
Mhm.
Except for me. And I was like, oh, this is a sign. Oh, so the next day when I saw Michelle on the hill, I was like, did you have a skein of that left? She's like, let me check with Ertone's girl, like that it's okay that I sell it to you, because she was gonna put it in her shop. And then yeah, we ended up running into her. Ultimately, I was allowed to buy it, and it was shipped to me special after Rhinebeck, but it was like the skein that got away, but then I ultimately got. So
That's
special
fun.
socks, excited about all of the self-striping in my life, for sure, for sure. I showed the fun house off several times,
Mhm.
but again, self-striping from Fiber Nymph. Again, this green is not this eye-searing green, although it does give it a lot of more contrast than I think you see in real
Mhm.
life. Um,
I am on my second sock right there for that.
isn't
I'm
it?
very
Aren't they
close.
addicting? They're so
Yeah,
addicting.
and I'm really close to the heel, so like I'm excited, but I know that then it gets a little bit longer because you got
Mhm.
to do the gusset.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
super potato
so
chippy.
I was reading the pattern off of my phone and I printed the heel flap because flipping back and forth between
Mhm.
in the pattern was a little annoying. So yeah, pro tip there as well, right? Like print one of the two so that you're not having to keep track of, okay,
Yep.
and now I'm on this row and then I got to go down to here and then because they aren't necessarily in line in the pattern, right? And then sometimes I was accidentally flipping to the wrong stitch count main foot. So yeah, print one of them, and so that you can view them simultaneously while you're working that beautiful gusset. Really love what it does. And these are nice, smushy house socks. I saw that Pam was making some more of her color work of Lisa K. Ross's color work socks, and I was like, oh, yeah, a little jealous. I'm having wandering eyes as of late. What to knit? I then took that same motif, and so this is my edited. Like I created a whole new pattern basically based off of the sock pattern. Threw on a kind of the gusset and then some yeah, just a stripe, I guess, up the thumb. Again, very smushy, and just used the last little inkling of that self-striping. I think I had a sweater quantity of this Sun Valley Fibers MCN, and I think I still have some left of that, but the self-striping got used to its max.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that I'm going to have quite a bit left over, and I even did like 2 repeats of the pattern on the leg of the sock. So
yeah, I can't. Is that like similar? Like I can't. Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. And so I was thinking of making mitts, but I was thinking the marled ones where you just put together.
I just was obsessed with the color work. It was just so much fun, right?
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely. I have another Lisa K. Ross pattern, an individual one, not in the book, that I am eyeballing because of how much fun this one was.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. And she's doing a single sock KAL. So if you just like, I want to give it a try, all you have to do to enter is finish one sock. So yeah, shout out to her. Also made some monkey socks out of the last of my Chola. No more Chola in the house. Beautiful. Sad panda. But love what the monkey pattern does with super variegated and striping. Threw in, did it toe up. These are also an edit. Did it toe up and put in an OMG heel. And last but certainly not least,
to create a vest from the 2 that I have left. I have 2 DK skeins left, and it's just like maybe a vest is a good.
Yeah, I don't think you guys have seen, this was something that I cast on before we went to Paris, and then I finished after we got back from Paris. So again, this went with me to Paris and was my nighttime knitting. I used my Adored by Northern Bee, which was their colorway last year. I had the year before had made one of Zandy's tops. Oh, why can't I think of it? Anyway, it's inspired by architecture in New York City.
Yeah.
And it was very
I remember the
architectural lines. And I was like, these are crazy skeins. What am I going to do with it? I swear I've seen, so like Carbeth does something similar. I swear I've seen other patterns that are similar, but like this was all just me. Like I cast on a neckline. Well, the ribbing I added after the fact, but I cast on a neckline that I knew was going to fit my neck. And then was like, okay, let's see if I can do that triangular thing that the other ones did. So yeah, just increasing along that line every single row. Which ends up being the same as a raglan increase, because raglan increases are 8 stitches every other row. This is 4 stitches every row, but that's the same rate of increase. The sleeve stitches stay solid, and then the increases became those purls. And because I had just finished this, I was like, hey, let's throw a nice little line down the middle of that reverse stockinette. And I was a little less excited. This was where I had to break into another skein. And some of the it's less obvious when I'm wearing it, but when you're like staring at it, kind of like your sock with those extra stitches, right? You're like, oh, look at I don't know. It's cool. It's the the function of hand-dyed yarn that you're alternating skeins and putting a certain circumference on. But yeah, and then I threw on the neckline. It needs to be blocked yet still. But then the sleeves are in solid stockinette.
It has it fits a variegated really well, but I'm obsessed with seeing it in a solid. I think you should make another one.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where just on a whim, I was like, I wonder if I can figure this out. And so I know that there are other patterns out there. I think they're with heavier yarn. So this is a fingering weight yarn. And yeah, I really
I want to see
enjoyed the process.
I think it's gonna be cute.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do it in short sleeves too.
Differences between, and yeah, I think it would be really cute.
Yeah, I think I really like the way variegateds look in reverse stockinette. So that was kind of my thought process. I was like, well, a majority of it is going to be in reverse stockinette. And so this super variegated will at least fit my fancy. But yeah, no, it was kind of a fun little try it out. And again, a lot of memories knit into it in Paris. So
very exciting.
Yes. So whew, I got warm with my hat on and my sweaters. But yeah, no, it felt like there was quite a bit, but then there was that 2-week delay in there that we were. I'm excited about the upcoming challenges. I've got some bulky sitting here again that I'm like thinking that I'm gonna try to do something similar to something else that I've done. So my tucked in towel, I've been wearing it a lot at work, like especially in the morning when it's kind of chillier with the windows open. Nice little cowl to put over your shoulders, and really that's the only thing you see on me in Zoom, right? And so thinking about doing that to get the
I feel like I should back up so
yeah, I'm not just to do the bulky to hit the bulky, and then I'm gonna have to figure out a kids pattern. So those are the ones that I have left for this quarter.
Yeah, I would probably end up doing a stuffy, but there is somebody over there that's having a baby. So I don't know, maybe I think that they've learned the sex of the baby. So, but
just to be clear, she wasn't pointing to me.
What?
I said, just to be clear, you weren't pointing to me.
No. To a coworker that is young and not.
Oh, I just got called old.
I'm older than you.
Yeah, I can't have babies anymore. So.
Well, yeah, right. There's also that.
But I just wanted to, in case people weren't aware of that, it did kind of look like you were pointing at me, and I'm like, no.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I didn't know you were over there. Sorry. No. Coworker, young and starting her family. So we're excited for her, and I think I'll make a tiny hat and
a baby mucil burrow. Oh my lord, wouldn't that be so cute? Okay. Sorry,
that might have to be it. I was thinking those tin can knits ones where it's kind of where you tie it, because I found that those tie ones too, so that it stays in place. But I might consult her for, instead of making it a surprise, consult her on color choices. Just to make
also
sure
like if she prefers, I mean, I think some people would find that darling, and there's probably other moms that are like, that's an old-timey style, right? Like I wouldn't be interested in a more of a bonnet tie, right? Yeah,
I don't know, but again, so practical. I mean, like
it's hard to know what a parent is going to think after they actually are trying to keep the hat on the baby, or on the exactly. They don't even know what they're doing with their hands the first couple of months. They're just like everywhere. Anyway, we digressed. We're having too much fun, and we didn't have a hard stop.
Right. So bye.
Bye, Ufta. All right, there, I got it stopped finally.